Hey, what up you guys? As you can probably tell from my shirt, I am here at Universal Studios Hollywood today because we are so very close to the opening of Halloween Horror Nights here and also in Orlando. But I kind of want to give you guys a little tour and a little guided walkthrough on what to expect here at Universal Studios Hollywood's Halloween Horror Nights, where all the scare zones is, where the mazes are, what you can do. So let's go inside and check it out. Alright, stepping into the park, we'll have our first scare zone, which is called Hell's Harvest. And the description of this scare zone is you're entering a pagan Halloween festival where bewitched dolls are brought to life through dark magic. And they're looking for the next human sacrifice. So here we are. Yeah, creepy dolls. That's all I got. Should be pretty spooky. I'm gonna also assume that this scare zone, most of the dolls will have chainsaws, because that's where the chainsaw chase out happens, right at the entrance. So expect a lot of chainsaws. Dolls with chainsaws. So starting off, of course, the first house we come to is here at the Waterworld queue, and it will be Halloween 4. This is the third time Michael Myers has come to Halloween Horror Nights in a couple years. We didn't have him last year, but this is where Titans of Terror was. The maze is being built right behind these walls, so you can't really see anything. But Halloween 4, first maze, here it is. Alright, moving on down to the Parisian Courtyard, we have the Universal Monsters with slash music. Now this is where the Blumhouse maze was last year. It looks like the maze is gonna start outside in kind of the front and then make your way inside to the main part. From what I know, you enter through a graveyard, and then they have this entire outside portion. And then there's kind of like a break where we have the facade of Frankenstein's castle that you'll walk through, which we'll go check that out right now. So here you have Frankenstein's castle entrance, so there'll be a little break between the two. So this is very similar to what they did with Blumhouse last year, where you had the purge in this section, then you made your way inside the theater for Happy Death Day and Sinister. I know you'll start in the graveyard where you'll see like Dracula. So basically you enter this graveyard and it's like the monsters coming to life because they've already died. And then you'll make your way inside Frankenstein's castle, where you'll see Frankenstein's monster and Dr. Frankenstein and all that good stuff with music by Slash. And then you'll exit here on French Street, which will dip you right out into a scare zone called Monster Masquerade, where it's kind of like a French masquerade, but they're all going to be themed to all the different classic monsters with different masks on, and then a giant Red Death stilt walker, so that will be tons of fun. Basically the idea of the house coming out on the French Street into the scare zone is to make you feel like, oh, you're out of the house, you're safe, and then there's just more monsters out. So watch your back. Like I said, Hell's Harvest scare zone is going to be at the entrance of the park, but there's some mixed opinions on whether there's going to be 2 scare zones on the upper lot. Now usually there's one with the flame turrets, which are coming back this year, but there are some mixed opinions that Trick or Treat will also be on the upper lot, kind of towards the back of the New York facades, and Hell's Harvest is going to be more towards the front. But I've also heard rumors that it's going to be on the lower lot as well as you exit out of the Trick or Treat house. So there's going to be a Trick or Treat house and a Trick or Treat scare zone. There's just mixed opinions on where that Trick or Treat scare zone is going, because it's more like a photo op scare zone. And since the Trick or Treat house is on the lower lot, that scare zone could be on the lower lot, but no one knows for sure yet, but we should find out real soon. And then we have our last stop on the upper lot, which is Terror Tram. Terror Tram this year is a sequel to 2016's Terror Tram, which is Hollywood Harry. Last year we had Titans of Terror presented by Chucky, so this year we have a sequel to 2016's. Hollywood Harry is about a clown who used to work at Universal, and then he just disappeared into the back lot and was scaring people. And now him and all his clowns are back. So if you're a fan of clowns, Terror Tram it is. So as we head down to the lower lot, you can actually see Trick or Treat from the escalators. It is in the same place The Exorcist was, right between Mummy and heading towards the Metro sets. Apparently they barely ran out of tent space for the maze, as there's a little portion sticking out. Sam, are you in there? After your 30-minute elevator trip, usually the first house would be right here in Jurassic Park, but unfortunately since Jurassic Park is closing and being rethemed to Jurassic World, there will be no house in the Jurassic World queue this year. Now while that may sound disappointing, it's super exciting, because of that, we are finally getting a soundstage house, Soundstage 29, which is behind Transformers 3D, the ride down here. You will find Stranger Things. So Stranger Things is going to be in a full soundstage this year, which is freaking amazing in my opinion. That's the reason why I love Horror Nights in Orlando so much, is because of the soundstage houses, and they have so many sound stages to work with here. Unfortunately, since Universal Hollywood is an actual working movie and TV studio, they don't have a lot of soundstage spaces. Hi! So yeah, the fact that we have a soundstage house this year is amazing, and the fact that it's Stranger Things is even better. I heard there's gonna be like 18 Demogorgons that are gonna pop out, so like take me to the Upside Down now, please. Thank you. And then we have the Metro lot houses and scare zones. As you can see, the scaffolding is already up, and right to the right here is where you'll find Trick or Treat. Like I said, the same place where Exorcist was. And then as you go through, you'll of course walk through the tunnel, which is going to be another sequel scare zone, Toxic Tunnel, with 2 X's. That's why it's a sequel. I think it's gonna be the same thing, like radiation, toxic, mutant people walking through a tunnel. Honestly, they put that scare zone in there to make sure you're not bored as you walk towards the Metro sets. And then as you enter the Metro sets, you have 3 houses, which are the First Purge, Blumhouse, and Poltergeist. As soon as you walk in, on the left will be the First Purge, and that's where Ash vs. Evil Dead was. And then to the right, you will find Blumhouse, which is gonna have, what is it? Unfriended and Truth or Dare. And that's gonna be where American Horror Story was, and then towards the back you have Poltergeist, where Saw was. So you have all 3 of those houses down in the Metro lot, and then as you walk out of Toxic Tunnel, you will of course be ushered into another scare zone called Holidays of Hell, which are just like scary versions of all the holidays, similar to, if anyone has been to Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando a long time ago, they had a house called HR Blood and Guts, which was horror versions of all the different holidays. So of course you'll see Krampus, and maybe like a scary Easter Bunny, and like a terrifying Cupid, and all the different holidays, but horror versions, which they should be that anyway. As I mentioned before, in the upper lot, this is another area where the Trick or Treat scare zone could go, because you exit the house from over here, which is by Jurassic Park and the escalators. And since Jurassic Park is closing, I think they do have more room for a scare zone here in the lower lot. And it's supposed to be more of a picture scare zone with the sinking bus and whatnot. And honestly, as you guys know, I am most excited about this one. So I think this is definitely a real possibility, that whole front area, since we have Stranger Things behind Transformers and the actual Trick or Treat house more towards the right of the backlot stuff. So there's really not so there's really not a lot happening here. So I think this would be a good area to put it. Also that guy. But hey Patrick, you forgot about the shows. Yeah, that's kind of on purpose. Of course we have one show here at Universal Studios Hollywood, which I am very much over. Over at the special effects stage, you can find the Jabberwockies, which have been here for like the last 5 years, and I'm really done with, so you could see them, I guess. Well, that is it from our little walkthrough through Halloween Horror Nights here at Universal Studios Hollywood for 2018. But before I go, I want to give you guys some tips for the event. First of all, the event runs September 14th through November 4th on select nights, mostly weekends. The park closes around 2 a.m. every night from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. Now, there is an option for early entry, which is if you get to the event before 5 p.m., this is completely free. You can get a wristband to go down to the lower lot where the mazes open around 5:15. The only thing you do miss is the opening ceremony, which is around 6:30 at the upper lot. I think it's a great option, especially because Stranger Things is in the lower lot and in a soundstage, and I can guarantee that's going to be one of the most popular mazes this year. So if you can get it out of the way right in the beginning, that is an option. But remember, you have to get there before 5 p.m. Also know that not all the attractions will be open. Wizarding World of Harry Potter will not be open during the event. However, rides like Mummy and Transformers will. Unfortunately, we don't have Jurassic Park in the dark this year because it is retheming to Jurassic World. Also, another thing you should know is there's no alcohol at this event. Orlando does sell alcohol, but however in Hollywood they do not sell alcohol. But yeah, I think that's mostly all the tips I have, just so you guys are aware. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what maze you are most excited for. Obviously, Trick or Treat is mine. Sorry about it. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys real soon.